This is KGW News at Sunrise.
Breaking news this morning, big traffic delays on I-5 North in the Terwilliger curves, where a semi overturned, dumping its load of chickens all over I-5 northbound. We'll have a live update on the traffic impact.
Near Sandy and Chavez, Cesar Chavez Boulevard, where a fatal shooting has shut down multiple streets. We'll have the latest coming up in just a few minutes. Plus,
if information's found on the dark web, nobody can remove it.
This morning, we are digging into how you can protect yourself from identity theft after the Oregon DMV, ODOT, and Umpqua Bank recently announced they were all targeted in a global cyber attack. What one credit bureau expert says you should do to make sure your information does not fall into the wrong hands.
It is a busy morning here on Friday on Sunrise. Lots to tell you about, but first, we do want to start with Rod and the forecast.
Well, good morning. We have fog at the coast. In fact, the Weather Service has popped up a fog advisory. You see a little bit of moisture on the camera lens down in Newport. Our live Uquinta Bay camera, 50 degrees. That's a symbol for fog right there, by the way. The dashed lines, you can't see much. Inland, though, it's all pretty much sunshine. There's the rising sun off in the east, of course, from the Wells Fargo camera. The sunrise, 5:22. That's 1 minute later than it was. Of course, we're past the solstice. We're at 62 out there. Generally a nice day. 73 at noon, 84 the high. Yesterday it was 88, so not as toasty. We are still eyeing not Salem, but around Portland and to the north, up into southwest Washington, a chance for spotty storms as early as 3 o'clock this afternoon. Back to you.
Okay, thank you, Rod. And we're starting this morning with that breaking news we told you about at the top of the show. A long stretch of I-5 North down to one lane this morning because of an overturned semi-truck full of chickens. What you're seeing now is a live picture in the Terwilliger curves near the Briar Overpass. Now, our KGW director, Brian Matthews, got this video on his way in. You can see the chickens scattered across the interstate. That's going to be coming up here shortly. You'll see them. We don't know how or why the truck overturned or if there are any injuries reported, but we'll continue to keep you updated on this developing situation.
And we have more breaking news this morning, this time in Portland's Hollywood district. A shooting and car crash on Northeast Sandy right near Cesar Chavez Boulevard killed one person and injured another one.
Our Devin Haskins is live out there this morning for us. And Devin, what can you tell us?
yeah, right now the shooting happened, or police were notified of the shooting when they heard gunshots in the area right around 2:30 this morning. I'm going to go ahead and step out of the way and let our photographer Chad zoom in. And I want to point out that red car crashed into a carpool when police said they heard the shooting. They came, they found one man dead, the driver dead inside, the passenger with life-threatening injuries. Now, if you take a look at that, you can see the red tape around it. That's the inner circle of the crime scene. You got the yellow tape on the outside. There is a shoe in the street that is just a shoe. I want to point that out in case anybody else thinks anything else of it. Police said that multiple streets, because of this, are shut down in the area. I'm going to read off a few of them. Northeast Broadway, Northeast Sandy Boulevard, Northeast Halsey Street, Northeast Cesar Chavez Boulevard are all blocked between about Northeast 38th Avenue and Northeast 42nd Avenue, Northeast Hancock Street to Northeast Senate Street. So far, police say no arrests have been made, and so no suspects are thought to be they know about. Now, another thing that's interesting here at this intersection is a red light camera. It's well marked here. It's Sandy Boulevard and Broadway. I asked police, hey, is that something that you guys can look at? And he said, if somebody ran a red light, when this all happened, if there was a red light that ran, there may be the potential that one of the cars was caught on that. Of course, they said that is something that they will be looking at. But for now, we're going to stay out here all morning long, and we'll bring the latest coming up.
All right, thank you so much, Devin Haskins, reporting live there in the Hollywood district. He mentioned street closures. We do have some more information now on even more traffic changes, although these were planned. Starting today at noon, all westbound lanes of I-84 will close for bridge work right at the I-205 interchange. This is the area near the Rocky Butte State Park. I-84 will reopen Monday morning at 5 o'clock. Drivers will have to detour to I-205 southbound, then signs will guide the traffic back to I-84. And there's more. Here are the on-ramps that will close: Northeast 181st, Fairview Parkway, and 102nd, but that last one will only close at night. In the meantime, the exit to I-205 North will stay open. And one last heads up for you, this is not the only weekend work is happening. This same stretch of freeway will also close in July from Friday the 7th through Monday the 10th.
Getting drug use out of the public view, that is the goal of a new ordinance Portland's mayor plans to propose to City Council next Wednesday. The ordinance would outlaw public drug use in Portland in an effort to close the loophole between legal possession of hard drugs and using them in public. After voters passed Measure 110, possessing small amounts of hard drugs is no longer a felony in Oregon. The mayor declined our request for an interview and instead shared these pre-recorded statements.
We've all heard stories of people walking down the street and finding themselves in a cloud of unknown smoke and having to seek medical treatment for what they've just unwillingly inhaled. Clearly, this is not working as it was intended to.
The mayor also said of the thousands of civil citations issued statewide since 2021, only 189 have resulted in drug treatment assessments. The new ordinance would fine violators up to $500 or 6 months in jail.
The debris is consistent with a catastrophic implosion of the vessel.
It's a tragic end to the search for the Titan sub. It was on a diving tour to see the wreck of the Titanic. The Coast Guard confirming yesterday the 5 people on board are dead after debris was found on the ocean floor. Here's NBC's Tom Costello with the latest.
Good morning. Well, the morning after this terrible announcement that everybody on board that sub had died, probably on Sunday, we now know that the Navy detected what sounded like an implosion or an explosion at about the time that the sub lost communication with the mothership. They decided to proceed with the search and rescue operation because they didn't want to give up on the chance that somebody might be alive. Among the questions this morning, should they attempt to recover the victims? Should they attempt to recover any of the pieces of the sub? Keep in mind, it's 2.5 miles deep, and the crushing depth there may have been what caused the sub to implode. It's not an area at all that a diver can go into. It would have to be done by remote operating vehicles. If they decide to go forward with that, who would pay for that? Would the taxpayers pay for it? Or would some of the families, these very wealthy families that were involved, they lost loved ones, should they be involved in picking up the tab? And now we also have this tragic story. We've learned that the 19-year-old who was on board along with his father, the 19-year-old was terrified, did not really want to go, but decided to go to bond with his father, while the others on board were apparently very excited about going down and seeing the Titanic. So there's a lot to get to on the Today Show this morning. We'll do all of that, answer as many questions as we can, and there are a lot of unanswered questions. Back to you.
Tom Costello reporting there. Well, the Portland Trailblazers had their highest draft pick since 2007 last night. With the 3rd overall pick, the team selected point guard Scoot Henderson, a 19-year-old from Georgia. Check out that suit, so much bling on it. Henderson averaged nearly 18 points and 7 assists last season with the G League Ignite.
I hate to lose more than I love to win. I'm going to pick Johnson Brave so much, man. He might get annoyed. You know, that's how much I'm going to be asking him questions, just trying to learn from him.
Yeah, eager and excited for sure. The Blazers used their 23rd pick to select Chris Murray, a 6'8" forward who earned All Big Ten and 3rd team All-American honors with the Hawkeyes last season. In the 2nd round, the Blazers selected 6'7" guard Ryan Rupert from France. The Blazers went with 3 rookies, even though Damian Lillard has been pretty passionate about playing for a championship and vocal about wanting seasoned players as opposed to rookies. The GM says he doesn't believe the franchise is in danger of losing Dame.
Dame badly wants to win, and he's probably being more vocal about that than ever, but I don't look at that as a negative. I look at that as he's passionate about this. It matters deeply to him, and it matters deeply to us.
Now keep in mind, more movement still possible here with free agency beginning in just over a week.
That's true, but welcome to Rip City one and all. We'll see what happens.
Sharp dresser, by the way.
Yeah. You could do a little bling.
Well,
You could, but you're not.
I try. I would never look as handsome as that young gentleman. Here's a look at our satellite picture. A little bit of rain nipping along the southeastern corner of our state. Fog advisory has been posted along the coast. Visibility's pretty good here in Cannon Beach, but certainly it's overcast, 51, and coast may or may not break out and see sun today. Certainly it may not in all areas. It is a different story inland. There's the rising sun, the glistening water over the Willamette, 62. Beautiful sunny morning out there. Partly cloudy skies from this vantage point looking out over the vineyard. That's Cathedral Ridge Winery in Hood River. You folks, as well as the Cascades, are in on that chance of a spotty thunderstorm later today out in the gorge. And of course, that's Hood River this morning. Here are the temperatures, 56 up in Kelso. A camera is also showing some cloudiness up for you folks, but it's mainly sunny from Portland down through Salem and Albany this morning. 48 is the early morning number over in Bend. It's all dry currently traveling over the Cascades. So our futurecast models still show the overall same pattern, but they've really backed off. Yesterday, this same model at 4 o'clock in the afternoon was showing thunderstorms up and down the Cascades. Now, Yakima, south of Bend, there's a shower chance around Hood. Still showing that shower/storm chance, so up here, not Salem, but Portland metro area, so North Valley, up into southwest Washington, including up through Longview and Castle Rock. There's one north of Longview at 4 o'clock. Now, here is a thunderstorm. That's around Mount Hood starting to fire. So again, Cascades, Gorge, North Valley, up through southwest Washington is where the storm chance is today. I still really believe if we get showers, there is a disturbance that's parked just off to our east, that these showers could quickly ignite into intense downpours, hail, rumbles of thunder, lightning, some gusty winds, that type of thing. So just keep an eye. Right now, it looks like all the storm chance stays north of Yamhill and Marion counties, 82 in Salem expected. But southwest Washington will be keeping an eye as early as 3 o'clock this afternoon for potential development. Temperatures generally in the 80s, Longview 79, 80 degrees. And we mentioned the Hood River earlier, 82 will be your high, some breezy west winds, that storm chance. Now, once we get past this evening, we go completely dry for the weekend. Early cloudiness, otherwise mainly sunny. Nice tomorrow, 80, 83 on Sunday. And right now, nothing going on next week, or was I just too tired to figure it out? Looks pretty quiet.
Yeah, officially looking and feeling a little more like summer. Okay, thank you, Rod. Cyber attacks, they're becoming all too common these days. Last week, we reported millions of Oregonians may have had their information stolen from the Oregon DMV and ODOT. Then this week, Umpqua Bank officials said they'd been hit in the very same global cyber attack. What one credit bureau expert says you need to do to keep your information safe.